Hello, welcome back to the Watford Way. Match previews are back. Come on, club football has returned, and Watford are starting off with an away fixture at Pride Park. Before we dive into my thoughts on the upcoming fixture, we're going to hear from Jake at the Rams Talk podcast to get his view on the game.
Hi, I'm Jake from Rams Talk Podcast, and just want to give you a little bit of a rundown on Derby County season so far. So, started off pretty bad, really poor, 1 win in 10, and then John Eustace has managed to turn it around to get 5 wins in a row, which I don't think any Derby fans thought was going to happen. It's been a pretty unbelievable turnaround, but again, he did the same last season. He pulled a team out that wasn't really playing too well and turned us into a good side that won games. On Eustace himself, I think he's a great manager. He's really starting to prove himself as a manager at this level now. You know, he's had a few good seasons, and he's starting to build a team at Derby, and we're starting to see that a little bit. We're looking a bit more positive. We play that three at the back or five at the back, whatever way you like to look at it. Two centre backs that can get up and down that left and right side in Matt Clark and Sondra Langus, with Dion Sanderson sort of the anchor between them. And then you've got two wing backs that'll fly forward and get balls into the box for the likes of Patrick Adjaman, Carlton Morris, and Burton Diaz to get on the end of. So we're looking dangerous at the minute. We're playing some nice football, and it's been pretty enjoyable. The only problem we've got at the moment is David Ozo pulled up at the start of the last game against Blackburn. It's either his groin or his quad. I'm not entirely sure which, but he's got a history of injuries, and usually they keep him out for quite a while. So that'll be a bit of an issue in our midfield. But apart from that, we're in a pretty clean bill of health. On our key players, I think Carlton Morris is the obvious one. Everyone will be thinking about him. I know you guys don't like him because of his connections to another football club, but he's started really, really well at Derby. 10 goals already in 15 games, and he's deserved every single one of them. He fights for every ball, and his desire to win balls in the box is what's made him, so clinical in front of goal. He can't stop scoring at the minute. Balls go into the box, he throws himself at it, and he scores goals. And that's kind of been the way Derby have worked so far this season. A lot of set pieces, a lot of balls in, and having players on the end of it, like Patrick Adjaman did also against Blackburn as well. So yeah, Derby looking quite positive. It's been quite nice, quite refreshing. You'll remember how poor we were last season. I think he did the double over us, and this season we look a different side. So yeah, hopefully it'll be all right. Looking at Watford, you've surprised me actually, because obviously, I mean, everyone listens to this knows Watford didn't have the best season last season either. But this season, I've thought you've looked a lot more cohesive. You've looked like a pretty good side, and it's one of the games when we were looking at the fixture list, we thought, oh, that's a bit of a difficult one at home. That so yeah, I've been impressed with Watford so far. I know you've had a couple of draws recently, so. We'll be hoping, for our sake, to turn that into a defeat. But funnily enough, I think we'll actually draw the game. I think Derby can't win every game forever. I think Watford come into this in not amazing form, but you're a good side, and we started to tire a little bit towards the end of games. Missing the likes of David Ozo will really hurt us. We lose that passing through the middle. Usually it's him and Bobby Clark, and they really progress us from back to front. Whereas if the likes of Ibu Adams step in, we're not quite the same side. So I'm hoping, yeah, a 1-1 would be a nice result, a nice point each to take home, and yeah, let's hope for Derby's sake it goes well, because we need a bit of that, especially at home. But yeah, I'm Jake, Rams Talk Podcast. If you want to hear more from us talking about Derby, we'll be covering the game on the Sunday night at 7 o'clock on our channel. Do all the episodes live, so you can catch us, Rams Talk Podcast, anywhere. And thank you very much for listening. I'm aware I've waffled quite a lot. It's very hard talking to a microphone, it turns out, for like 4 straight minutes, but I hope that was okay. So yeah, if anyone's at the game, I hope you enjoyed the game and have a safe trip there and back. So thank you very much.
A big thank you to Jake, of course, for his contribution to the video. And Watford, once again, are being reunited with John Eustace, which is always nice. He's very well liked by the Hornets fan base. I'm sure he'll receive a good reception. And as Jake said as well, he's proved himself to be a very good head coach at this level. He said they started the season, of course, quite poorly. 1 win in 10. I didn't realise it was quite that bad for Derby fans. However, as he alluded to, they've turned it around since 5 wins in a row. And that man we all hate, Colton Morris, is their top goal scorer. 10 goals already in the champ so far this season. So certainly one to keep an eye on. When it comes to the Hornets and injury news, I don't believe there is too much to report on. Of course, I am recording this prior to Javi Gracia's press conference, so we are yet to hear from him. We, of course, have a few players out on international duty at the moment, the likes of Kayembe, Iran Kunda, Hector Kipriani over in Cyprus as well. So a few returning players to assess, but largely it appears we have a clean bill of health. And the big question mark, of course, is probably around Georgie Shaq Fatazzi. Now, prior to the break, Javi hinted at the fact that Georgie may return after the international break. Now, me personally, and this is just an educated guess, I don't have any inside info on this one, but personally, I don't think we'll see Georgie play a minute of football for at least another couple of weeks. He may be in the matchday squad. He may travel with the team up to Pride Park, and he may even feature on the bench. But in terms of him coming on for longer than 5 or 10 minutes, I doubt we'll see that happen this weekend. It appears he has re-entered contact training with the team as well. He's kicking a ball. Is with the entire group, with Javi, with the full first team squad. So yeah, positive to see Georgie is progressing very quickly. What Watford don't want, though, is a reoccurrence, because it's taken nearly half a year just to get to this point after what was assumed to be quite a minor injury. Of course, it turned out to be like a stress fracture of some sort of bone within his foot, and that's obviously a very delicate area of your body when playing football. If someone treads on you in the wrong way or digs their stud into the wrong part of your foot, Georgie might be in a lot of pain, and that is not what we want. So yeah, I'd want Watford to be extremely cautious with him and only put him back into the fold when he's ready, but certainly a positive to have him coming back. In terms of the system and shape, I would like to see, I think what we went with against Bristol at home was very conservative. Javi, for some reason, ditched the 4-4-2 or 4-2-2 and went to a back 5, which I had question marks about at the time. In the second half against Bristol, he did revert back to the Thor. And I think now, this time of year, it's crucial Watford not only start to pick up points at home, but away from home is where we need to improve. Because I've got no doubts about this team that at Vicarage Road, against pretty much any opposition, we've always got a chance of getting something from any game of football. But away from home, I don't know what it is, whether it's mentality, the system. I don't know what it is away from home, but Watford always seem to struggle and have done for a number of years now, and that's dating back to Valerian Ismail, Tom Cleverley, PP, Paolo Pezzolano, and of course now under Javi Gracia. So I think if Watford are to progress up the table and make inroads on them top 6 positions, breaking that duck and picking up our first 3 points away in over 270 days, I think it is now, is going to be so crucial. And I think for me, I would just go for it, go for the game. I think managers in the past, and Javi is in this bracket as well, are or were guilty of playing maybe less talented players but more experienced professionals in away games. And I'm speaking about the likes of a Sissoko, a Kayembe. There's other players that fit that bill as well, the Tom Inces of this world, for example. Whereas for me, if everyone's fit, ready to go, Kwadwo, Iran Kunda, Luca, Doumbia, Loser, Hector, Ngakia, Petrie, Bola, etc., play your best players in their best positions, and hopefully in the long term, consistency of team selection will equal better results more consistently. Because what we've seen so far is 5 or 6 changes a game, especially defensively, and I do feel that's hindered us so far this season when it comes to player relationships on the pitch, knowing where each other are going to be at any given time, and especially defensively as well. That's a massive part of the game. You want your two centre backs, if you're playing a four, to have a good relationship, and if you're constantly chopping and changing, it's very hard for that to develop. So yeah, I'm not going to guess what Javi is going to do, because so far it's been pretty hard for me to do that. So I imagine he'll stick with maybe the 4-4-2 or 4-2-2. Long term, I'd love to see a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. I do think eventually that is what we'd like to build towards. But for now, stick with the 4-4-2. Put your best players in your best positions, and let's see what happens. So looking forward to Derby. A massive thank you once again to Jake for contributing to the video. We should be here live for a watch along as well, so do join me for that if you are at home and want to listen to me waffle along while Watford play football this weekend. And yeah, looking forward to it very much. I just hope we can get that away win. I really, really do. It will do the group so much good. It would give them so much confidence, motivation, and drive to push forward and really make something of this season. So yeah, looking forward to it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like down below, and let me know your score prediction as well. I'm gonna go 2-0 to the Golden Boys. No goal for Carlton Morris in this one. Come on, you ones.